What are the three words Hadzabe hunters recite before they can successfully hunt a wild animal? In the rugged wilderness of northern Tanzania, far away from the noise of modern civilization, lives one of the last true hunter-gatherer communities on Earth, the Hadzabe people. For generations, they have survived the harsh plains, rocky hills, and unforgiving dry forests, not with machines or technology, but with instinct, patience, and deeply rooted tradition. Their way of life may seem ancient to outsiders, but to them it is sacred, a living echo of Africa's earliest human rhythm. And at the center of this rhythm lies an invisible thread that binds the hunter to the hunt, the power of spoken words. The Hadzabe believe that words carry energy. To them, speech is not just communication. It is a spiritual force that can shape outcomes, influence nature, and honor the spirits of the land. And before a Hadzabe hunter looses his arrow or steps quietly through the brush, there is something more important than strength, speed, or skill: the three words. Now, before we dive into the actual words they speak, it's important to understand that the Hadzabe do not practice religion in the conventional sense. They don't have churches, mosques, or temples. Their faith is carried in the wind, the trees, and the whispers of their ancestors. Their beliefs are oral, passed from father to son, elder to youth in chants and sayings, some of which hold sacred meaning before a hunt. So what are these three words? Among the Hadzabe, hunters are taught from an early age to whisper a blessing before setting out. This blessing is not loud, it is not for show. It is spoken softly, often under one's breath. The three sacred words are Ipai, Enko, Eyasi. Each of these words holds significance. Ipai, meaning guide me. It is a plea to the spirits of the ancestors in the natural world to provide guidance, to show the right path, to help the hunter read the land and follow the animal's trail without error. Enko, meaning hide me. This word is a spiritual request for invisibility. In a world where the hunted is often faster, keener, and more alert than the hunter, the Hadzabe believe they need nature to cloak them, to become one with the wind and trees so the prey does not sense them. Eyasi, named after Lake Eyasi, their ancestral homeland. But when spoken as part of this trio, Eyasi means bless me. It is a word of grounding, a reminder that the land itself is sacred and must be honored before it provides. This verbal ritual is not just symbolic, it is deeply psychological. Hunters report feeling more connected, more focused, and more in harmony with their environment after reciting these words. And while the words may seem simple, their power lies in tradition, repetition, and belief. Unlike modern hunting, which often relies on tools and traps, the Hadzabe depend heavily on intuition. They do not keep animals in pens. They do not use vehicles. Their bows are hand-carved, their arrows tipped with poison extracted from the desert rose plant or the sap of the Acocanthera shimperi. They read footprints like we read maps. They track animals for miles without speaking a word, communicating only through subtle hand gestures. But even before all that, they speak the three. There are stories among the elders of Hadzabe hunters who went into the wild, arrogant, and overconfident, without saying the words, and they returned empty-handed. Others claim that forgetting the three words can lead to misfortune or dangerous encounters with wild animals. Whether these stories are myth or memory, they continue to teach the younger generation about humility, respect for nature, and the importance of honoring the unseen forces of life. Interestingly, these three words are not written anywhere. There is no Hadzabe holy book, no formal language school, but every young boy who learns to hunt learns these words, not from a classroom, but from sitting around the fire, watching his father, listening to the stories of his people. This is oral tradition at its purest. And in many ways, that is what keeps the Hadzabe identity alive in a world that constantly tries to erase indigenous culture. Some researchers who have lived among the Hadzabe for anthropological study, such as James Woodburn, have noted the role of spoken rituals in their hunting success. According to his observations, success in Hadzabe hunting cannot be attributed to physical skill alone. There is always a mental and spiritual component, something modern science cannot easily measure, but which the Hadzabe hold sacred. Another interesting point is that while many tribes across Africa have hunting chants, incantations, or dances, the Hadzabe's approach is unusually minimalist. Just 3 words, softly spoken. Perhaps that's what makes it powerful. Simplicity often carries the deepest truths. So what does this teach us? It teaches us that in a world obsessed with speed, noise, and flashy technology, there is still unmatched wisdom in silence, in listening, and in speaking the right words at the right time. The Hadzabe remind us that nature is not something to be conquered. It is something to be understood, respected, and gently partnered with. And as the sun rises over the dry savannas of northern Tanzania, a young Hadzabe boy steps out of his grass-thatched shelter. He holds a small bow in his hand. His eyes scan the earth. And before he moves, he closes his eyes and whispers, "Epai, Enko, Eyasi." Only then does the hunt begin. Thanks for watching. Please do like and subscribe for more.